Between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., I would have 5 more net sessions. Towards the last 15 minutes, Sir would place a 1 rupee coin on the top of the stumps, and if I managed to avoid getting out, the coin was mine. In this session, every bowler in the camp would come and bowl to me, with some 60 to 70 boys fielding. It meant I had to hit every ball along the ground to survive those intense 15 minutes. Winning the 1 rupee coin used to give me immense satisfaction and taught me how to concentrate even when physically drained. At the end of it all, Sir would tell me to run 2 full circuits of Shivaji Park with my pads and gloves on. That was the last part of my training, and I would be completely exhausted by the end of it all. It was a routine I would repeat right through my summer holidays, and it helped me to build up physical and mental stamina. Occasionally, my father came to take me home, and I would always ask him to treat me to a special fruit cocktail at a juice center near the club. While this regular demand was a little unreasonable, because at the time I did not realize that my parents also had to take care of the needs of my brothers and sister, my father would invariably end up giving me what I wanted, just to see me happy. On other days, when I made my way home from Shivaji Park on my own, I would often fall asleep on the bus if I managed to sit down. Anyone who has been on a Mumbai bus at peak hours will know just how difficult it is to get a seat. On the days when I wasn't so lucky, it was still a challenge just to stand with a kit bag, because the bus conductors would inevitably complain about me taking up the space of another passenger. It could be embarrassing because the conductors were often rude, and I would sometimes ask me to buy 2 tickets. I did not have the money for the second ticket, and I had to learn to take these remarks in my stride. Dirty clothes often added to the embarrassment. With time, I evolved a way of wrapping the kit bag around me, just as the helmet and pads became a part of me while batting. So the kit bag became an extension of me on the bus. I would often take the bus or train from Bandra to Churchgate, and it was all a great learning experience. In the following paragraphs, Sachin is speaking about his practice during the first year at his new school. He says that the practice matches went on during the summer break of 2 months. The summer sessions normally started at 7:30 in the morning, and it went on to 4 p.m. in the evening. The evening sessions after that used to start at 5 p.m., only after a short break of 30 minutes. And during this break, his coach used to give him some money to buy snacks, vada pav. It was a popular Mumbai fast food. And after that, between 5 p.m. and 7, he had a little more serious, challenging task waiting. The coach used to put 1 rupee coin on the stumps, and the others used to bat. In the late evening session, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., he had a set of 5 more net sessions. And in the last 15 minutes, he had a challenge to face. The challenge was, the coach used to put a 1 rupee coin on the stump, and every other participants in the camp used to bowl, and Sachin had to manage not to be out. And there were 60 to 70 other boys fielding. It was a tough task, and it lasted for about 15 minutes. If he succeeded in not being out, he got the prize, the 1 rupee. These practicing sessions, these challenges were very thrilling. Sachin enjoyed this very much. Though it was a physically draining, a physically challenging task, it gave him a lot of happiness. That was not the end of it. Before he went home, he had to run 2 rounds around the ground, and that too with his pads and gloves and all. That was the last part of his training. And by the end of it all, he was completely tired. This continued, this way of practice continued during his summer holidays. It was this practice, this rigorous, this strict practice, he says, helped him a lot to build up stamina and physical strength. On some days, Sachin's father used to come to the ground to take him home in the evenings. In days when he came to take him home, he would buy him a cocktail juice near the club. Sachin liked it very much. After some days, he started demanding it. The boy did not understand that it costed him money, that his father had to take care of the others at home. As a boy, Sachin did not understand these difficulties of his father. But his father always made him happy. He bought him his favorite juice because he did not want to disappoint the boy. On some days, he had to travel alone back home, and sometimes he may get a seat and fall asleep during the travel. And most of the days, he had to stand on his way back in the bus. And traveling in the bus was not an easy experience. It was sometimes a torture for him, because he was traveling with all the bag, his kit bag, and the conductors used to get angry with him for taking up space for another passenger, and they were sometimes very rude, and they called him names, and they would sometimes ask him to pay for 2 tickets. But Sachin, in those days, did not have enough money. He did not have money to buy 2 tickets. He just had for 1 ticket. And it was an insult. He still recalls the insult he had to suffer on account of this. And moreover, after the trainings, he would be wetting, he would be sweating all over, and that made the travel a little more difficult. Later he found a way out of this. He started wrapping his kit bag around his body like some school students do. After that, his bag became something like the helmet and pads while he played. He carried it like that. It became a part of his body. And sometimes he may take a train home from Bandra to Churchgate. Those days gave him a lot of life lessons. Sachin in this paragraph is talking about the humble beginnings, how hard it was for him when he started playing cricket, and later how his hard work, how it paid back later in his life.